President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged.
Elon Musk isn't used to losing, but right now, things are spiraling fast. Tesla's stock is tanking.
Well, Tesla owners say an online map decorated with an image of a Molotov cocktail.
Investors are furious, and his once loyal fan base is turning against him.
Just today, Tesla's stock price dropped by 15%. There are going to be some hangry shareholders there.
From social media meltdowns to desperate damage control, it looks like Musk is finally feeling the heat. So what's causing this sudden downfall? And is there any way for him to claw his way back?
He's the one who's making these decisions.
Like a button you press and it goes away.
Tesla's stock is crashing, and investors are getting nervous. Since December 2024, shares have dropped nearly 50% from their all-time high of $476, making Tesla one of the worst-performing stocks in the S&P 500 this year. Analysts and shareholders are scrambling to understand what's going wrong. But the thing is, the warning signs have been there for a while. The competition is getting stronger, demand is slowing, and Elon Musk's unpredictable behavior isn't doing the company any favors.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
Yeah.
One of Tesla's biggest problems right now is China. Their biggest rival, BYD, just introduced a next-level battery that can charge in 5 minutes and power a car for 400 kilometers. That kind of breakthrough is exactly what people used to expect from Tesla. But now, it's coming from their biggest competitor in the world's most important EV market. Tesla's sales in China have plummeted by 49%, while in Germany, one of its strongest markets in Europe, sales have dropped by an alarming 76%. Investors and analysts are taking note. RBC Capital Markets just slashed their price target for Tesla.
European sales of Tesla vehicles fell 45% in the month of January,
cutting expectations from $440 to $320. Their message is clear. Tesla is losing its grip on the EV market, and all of this was clearly not on Elon Musk's 2025 bingo card. At the same time, Tesla's stock price just doesn't make sense anymore. Even after its major drop, it's still trading at a forward price-to-earnings ratio of 88. Compare that to Toyota at 8 and GM at 4, and it's clear that Tesla is being valued like a high-growth tech company when, at the end of the day, it's just a car manufacturer. And car companies don't usually get the kind of wild stock valuations that tech firms do. With sales falling, competition heating up, and investors losing confidence, Tesla's golden years might be coming to an end. Unless Musk can turn things around quickly, this stock crash might not be a short-term dip. It could be the start of something much worse. If that wasn't bad enough on its own, Elon Musk's dive into politics is backfiring, and it's taking Tesla down with him. His public endorsements and controversial takes aren't just creating arguments online. They're actively driving customers away, damaging Tesla's reputation, and causing major sales losses. The company, which once thrived on its progressive and forward-thinking image, is now struggling to separate itself from Musk's growing political baggage. Nowhere is this clearer than in Germany, where Musk's vocal support for the far-right alternative for Deutschland Party has turned Tesla into a tough sell. The party has been widely criticized as an extremist group, and Musk aligning himself with them has led to backlash from both politicians and the general public. For a company that once dominated the European EV market, this shift is a disaster. Many Tesla buyers in the region were drawn to the brand for its clean energy focus and futuristic appeal. But with Musk now linked to political views that contradict the values of a large part of his customer base, more and more people are walking away. And it's not just a small group of critics making noise. This backlash is coming from all sides. German politicians have spoken out against Musk's statements, calling his involvement in their country's political landscape reckless and damaging. Consumer watchdog groups have also taken notice, with some warning that Tesla's association with controversial figures could hurt long-term trust in the brand. Even in the corporate world, Tesla's image is taking a hit. A growing number of businesses that once proudly partnered with Tesla for sustainability initiatives are reconsidering their stance, wary of associating their brand with Musk's increasingly polarizing presence. This kind of controversy isn't something that can be brushed off. Unlike the tech crowd that once idolized him, the average car buyer isn't interested in endless Twitter feuds or political battles. They want a reliable, innovative product without the baggage. And with Tesla's competitors, companies like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes, offering strong EV alternatives without the drama, more European buyers are choosing to spend their money elsewhere. Tesla used to be seen as a company of the future, cutting-edge, environmentally responsible, and forward-thinking. But with Musk diving headfirst into divisive political issues, it's becoming harder for consumers to separate the product from the person running the show. And with European buyers turning away, Tesla's dominance in the region is slipping fast. But what makes this even worse is that he's not stopping there. Things aren't that great for him in America either. Elon at Donald Trump's inauguration went viral for all the wrong reasons. A clip from Trump's inauguration started circulating online, and before Musk could say a word, people were accusing him of making a Nazi salute. The reaction was swift and brutal. Politicians, activists, and Jewish organizations condemned it immediately, calling it offensive and unacceptable. Some groups, including the Anti-Defamation League, tried to downplay the situation, calling it an awkward moment of enthusiasm. But the damage was already done. The internet ran with it, fueling a wave of outrage that Musk did absolutely nothing to stop. Instead of handling the situation properly, he made things worse. Rather than addressing the backlash head-on, he tried to joke his way out of it, throwing in puns about Nazi figures and brushing off the outrage as just another politically motivated attack. That didn't do him any favors. If anything, it only made people angrier. Then, as if he hadn't stirred up enough controversy, he retweeted a post claiming that historical dictators like Hitler weren't responsible for mass murders, that the blame actually fell on public sector workers. That was it. At that point, people weren't just mad, they were horrified. Even his defenders couldn't explain that one away. Musk eventually deleted the tweet, but by then, it was too late. Once something spreads online, there's no taking it back. The controversy spiraled out of control, and critics slammed him for being reckless, tone-deaf, and completely detached from reality. And this wasn't just about Musk anymore. It was affecting Tesla. The company was already struggling in key markets, and now his personal controversies were making things even worse. Tesla's stock took another major hit, and investors started asking the question no one wanted to say out loud. Is Musk becoming more of a liability than an asset? He used to be the face of innovation, the guy people trusted to push the world forward. Now, he's turning into a walking controversy, dragging Tesla's reputation down with him. With all that's going on here, Elon Musk is facing growing pressure as leading Democrats push for investigations into whether he's using his government position to benefit his own companies.
Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies?
As the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, Musk has an unusual amount of power over federal operations, while still running private businesses like SpaceX and Starlink that rely heavily on government contracts. Critics say that's a serious conflict of interest, and now they want answers. One of the biggest red flags came when reports surfaced that Starlink, Musk's satellite internet company, was installed in the White House. That raised immediate concerns about whether he was using his government position to boost his own business. But that's not the only thing drawing scrutiny. The Trump administration's recent decision to shut down NASA's Office of Technology, Policy, and Strategy has also set off alarm bells. That office provided oversight on space-related policies, and without it, SpaceX, Musk's other major company, now faces even less regulation. Lawmakers worry this move could give Musk even more influence over U.S. space operations, with little accountability. On top of that, a federal judge recently ruled that Musk and Doge likely violated the U.S. Constitution by shutting down USAID, an agency that provides foreign aid. The abrupt closure disrupted critical programs, and legal experts argue that Musk may have overstepped his authority. That ruling has led to Democrats calling for deeper investigations into whether Musk is abusing his role to make decisions that benefit him financially. One of their main concerns is a $2.4 billion federal contract that was suddenly canceled, allegedly in a way that gave Starlink an advantage. Critics say Musk's growing influence is dangerous, warning that a billionaire controlling both government policy and private industry could lead to unethical decision-making. They argue that there needs to be strict oversight to make sure taxpayer money isn't being used to line Musk's pockets. With investigations heating up, all eyes are now on whether Musk will face real consequences, or if his unique position as both a government official and a business leader will allow him to keep playing by his own rules. Elon Musk's political choices have led to a wave of protests against Tesla, with activists and former supporters taking drastic measures to distance themselves from the brand. Environmental and political groups are making their frustration loud and clear, staging high-profile demonstrations and even resorting to vandalism to show their opposition. One of the most attention-grabbing protests happened on Black Rock Sands Beach in Wales, where the activist group led by donkeys used a Tesla vehicle to carve a massive message into the sand. "Don't buy a Tesla." The statement was visible from space, and the stunt was led by a former Tesla owner who had soured on Musk due to his political affiliations. The goal was simple: hit Musk where it hurts by discouraging people from buying his cars. Meanwhile, in the US, a movement known as Tesla Takedown is picking up steam, with protests erupting outside Tesla showrooms across multiple cities. Protesters are calling on Tesla owners to sell their cars and dump their stocks, blaming Musk's role in the Department of Government Efficiency and his growing political ties. Some of these demonstrations have gone beyond peaceful protests, turning into outright vandalism. Tensions have escalated in several locations. In Oregon, a Tesla dealership was left with gunshot damage, an incident that is currently under police investigation. In Colorado, a woman was arrested for throwing Molotov cocktails at a Tesla dealership and spray painting anti-Musk graffiti on the building. These extreme acts highlight how deep the frustration runs for some people who see Musk's actions as harmful and irresponsible. Even Tesla owners who once supported the company are joining the backlash. Some have started putting protest stickers on their cars that read, "I bought this before I knew Elon Musk was crazy." This trend underscores the internal struggle among Tesla's customer base, people who love the product but no longer want to be associated with its controversial CEO. Taken together, these protests and acts of vandalism paint a clear picture. The backlash against Musk isn't going away. Elon Musk's net worth has taken a massive hit, shedding billions as Tesla's stock continues its downward spiral. At its peak in December 2024, Musk's fortune was estimated at around $486 billion, making him the richest person in the world by a significant margin. But just a few months later, that number has plummeted to approximately $330 billion, wiping out $156 billion of his wealth in record time. The primary culprit? Tesla's stock, after losing over 50% of its value since December, dragging down Musk's fortune along with it. Since most of Musk's wealth is tied to Tesla shares, the company's struggles have had an outsized impact on his personal fortune. Investors are losing confidence, analysts are downgrading their outlook on Tesla, and short sellers have seized the moment. In just 3 months, those betting against Tesla have made a staggering $16.2 billion, profiting directly from the company's stock collapse. This wave of skepticism isn't just about Tesla's financials, it's also a reflection of growing doubts about Musk's leadership. His increasingly controversial political statements, unpredictable behavior, and erratic decision-making have made investors nervous, leading some to question whether Tesla's best days are behind it. Despite these losses, Musk still holds the title of the world's richest person, with an estimated net worth of $301 billion as of March 2025. But the rapid decline of his wealth is setting off alarms. With Tesla facing mounting challenges, from declining sales and regulatory pushback to fierce competition from BYD and legacy automakers, his fortune remains at risk. If Tesla's stock continues its downward trend, Musk's personal finances could take an even bigger hit, putting pressure on his other ventures, including SpaceX and Starlink. For now, Musk remains one of the most financially powerful figures in the world, but the cracks are starting to show. The sharp drop in his wealth isn't just about numbers. It's a sign that his empire may not be as invincible as it once seemed. If Tesla's stock doesn't stabilize, or if Musk's personal controversies continue to drive investors away, he could find himself in an even deeper financial hole. Even the people that have always been by Elon's side have switched up on him. Senator Mark Kelly, once a supporter of the green energy movement, has made a dramatic shift, publicly denouncing Elon Musk and ditching his Tesla in protest. In a video that quickly went viral, Kelly announced that he was getting rid of his car, not because of any issues with the vehicle itself, but because of what he sees as the damage Musk and Donald Trump are doing to the country. Every time I get into this car, it reminds me of how much harm Elon Musk and Donald Trump are causing, he stated before declaring that this would be his last drive in a Tesla. He didn't hold back either, bluntly calling Musk an a-hole and making it clear he no longer wanted anything to do with a car designed by him. But it wasn't just about words. Kelly followed through by trading his Tesla for a Chevy Tahoe Z71, a gas-powered SUV. The move, given Kelly's past advocacy for climate action and EV adoption, was totally unexpected. Critics were quick to call him out for hypocrisy, pointing out that he replaced his Tesla with a vehicle that runs entirely on gasoline. For someone who had previously pushed for stronger environmental policies, his decision to abandon electric cars altogether led to the internet discussing whether this was a principled stand against Musk or just political theater. Kelly's sudden shift highlights the deepening divide over Musk's role in politics. Once seen as a tech visionary, Musk's growing involvement in political controversies has alienated many former supporters, particularly on the left. His close ties to Trump, his public feuds with government agencies, and his controversial statements have turned him from a green energy pioneer into a polarizing figure. Kelly's decision to publicly disown Tesla reflects a larger trend of people distancing themselves from Musk, even if it means walking away from a product they once admired. The reaction to Kelly's statement has been mixed. Some praised him for taking a stand, arguing that Musk's influence has become toxic and that his businesses should face consequences. Others saw it as an over-the-top gesture, questioning why Kelly would abandon an EV entirely instead of switching to another electric brand. Regardless of where people stand, one thing is clear: Musk's personal brand is now directly impacting Tesla's reputation, and even high-profile figures are willing to make public statements against him. Whether this will have any lasting effect on Tesla's business remains to be seen. But for now, the backlash against Musk continues to grow. To take things to a whole other level, Elon Musk's membership in the Royal Society is hanging by a thread as the institution wrestles with whether to expel him over his increasingly controversial actions. Once welcomed into the Society in 2018 for his contributions to space exploration and electric vehicles, Musk was celebrated as a visionary. But that reputation has eroded over time, and now many in the scientific community argue that his behavior, both online and in business, undermines the very values the Society stands for. From spreading conspiracy theories to attacking public figures and gutting U.S. research funding, his actions have created deep divisions among his peers. The push to remove Musk from the Royal Society started in August 2024, when 74 fellows signed a letter questioning whether he still deserved his place. The controversy escalated when Professor Dorothy Bishop, a respected neuropsychologist, resigned from the society in protest, citing its failure to address Musk's behavior. As pressure grew, the Royal Society was forced to act, and by February 2025, an emergency meeting was called to discuss Musk's future. More than 150 fellows attended, an unusually high turnout that made it clear just how divisive this issue had become. At the core of the debate is Musk's impact on the scientific community, particularly his role in slashing U.S. research funding. As head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Musk was involved in deep budget cuts that resulted in widespread layoffs in the scientific sector. Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton emerged as one of his most outspoken critics, arguing that Musk had actively harmed scientific progress and that the Royal Society could not continue to associate with someone undermining the very institutions they were meant to support. Unsurprisingly, Musk responded to the controversy in his usual fashion, by mocking it. When asked about the calls for his expulsion, he dismissed them as the complaints of craven, insecure fools, and brushed off the idea that his actions should have any consequences. This only deepened the divide, with some Royal Society members arguing that allowing him to stay would set a dangerous precedent, effectively signaling that wealth and influence could outweigh ethical concerns. Despite the heated debate, the Royal Society ultimately avoided making an immediate decision. Instead, they released a vague statement about the importance of supporting scientists affected by funding cuts, carefully avoiding any direct mention of Musk. However, this issue is far from settled. If Musk's actions continue to damage public trust in science, the pressure to expel him may become impossible to ignore, and the Royal Society's decision will shape its reputation for years to come. And when that's at its peak, Canada has also officially turned against Elon Musk, and it's hitting him where it hurts, his businesses. Once a key market for Tesla, Canada has now become one of Musk's biggest obstacles, thanks to a series of aggressive moves designed to cut him off economically. The turning point came in March 2025 when Canada hit Tesla with a 100% import tariff, instantly doubling the price of every Tesla sold in the country. Practically overnight, Teslas went from being expensive to outright unaffordable, dealing a devastating blow to sales. For a company already struggling, this was a brutal hit. But the Canadian government wasn't stopping there. In Ontario, officials pulled the plug on a multi-million-dollar contract with Starlink, Musk's satellite internet provider. That deal was supposed to expand internet access in rural parts of the country, offering a steady revenue stream that tied into Tesla's broader ecosystem. Now it's gone. The loss of that contract doesn't just hurt Starlink, it's another financial setback for Musk's entire network of businesses. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made it clear that this wasn't just about trade policies. In a press conference, he accused Musk of using his business empire to interfere in global affairs, stating that Canada would not tolerate his growing political influence. This wasn't just about Tesla or Starlink, it was about Musk himself. His open support for Donald Trump and right-wing causes has put him at odds with multiple governments worldwide, and Canada's response was simple: cut off the cash flow and send a message that his political stunts have consequences. These moves didn't just hurt Musk financially, they effectively shut him out of an entire country. With Tesla prices doubling, thousands of potential buyers have been forced to look elsewhere, and with the Starlink deal gone, Musk has lost a major foothold in Canada's telecom market. The result? Not just lost revenue, but lost influence, something Musk values just as much as money. And the timing couldn't be worse. Tesla's global sales are already plummeting, and Musk is losing ground in key markets. While he was busy dealing with trade wars and political feuds, Tesla's competition was gaining momentum. Canada's move isn't just a financial setback, it's a warning sign that Musk's influence is fading. If other countries follow suit, the empire he built could start crumbling faster than he ever expected.
President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged.
Musk isn't just losing ground in international markets, he's losing the fight at home.
Well, Tesla owners say an online map decorated with an image of a Molotov cocktail.
If these trends continue, Tesla's future isn't just uncertain,
Just today, Tesla's stock price dropped by 15%. There are going to be some hangry shareholders there.
It might not exist at all. Could Elon make it through this mess?